Hello and welcome to video number 8. This is my Carricum Vitae, or my car history. So from 1996 I've been driving until today, and this is my history of cars, one by one. I started off driving on my mother's old chocolate brown Mini 998. I then purchased this car, did a few little mods, put new radio, changed the wheels for Weller wide wheels, put bucket seats and a mountainy steering wheel, all those typical things. Still was a chocolate brown Mini, but the handling was great. I then got a slightly improved car, I say slightly, an MG Metro. I'd only needed to put a radio in this car. The one thing I remember about this car is its red carpets. I think it was famous for having red carpets. I then followed up to a proper hot hatch, an Escort XR3i. I then had the big box speakers on the back shelf. Was a true boy racer, although this thing couldn't really take the skin off a rice pudding, to be honest, but it looked the business, and it was really nice with the lots of glass and a sunroof and the twin spot lamps. Excellent. I actually made a foray into classic cars. While I had the XR3i, I bought an Audi Quattro. The fastest bathtub going, to be honest. 200 brake horsepower this thing, but 253 brake horsepower per ton. Unfortunately, my car was needed a lot of repairs. It was the very early Audi Quattro. It was an X-Reg. It was the ex-Audi demo, actually. It was converted from left-hand to right-hand drive and featured in the Duckham's Hypergrade Modurol advert. As you can see here, lots of magazine articles featured this car. So I had a bit of provenance, but unfortunately it's a little beyond my means in my early years of motoring, and I passed it on a couple of years later. After that, after the XR3i, I purchased a Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9. Now this was a step up. It actually was. It was really a quick car. Nice leather seats, back to the red carpets. One thing you'd note about this car, very quick off the line, but it's difficult to keep in a straight line because of its very short wheelbase. After I had a bit of fun with that, I was doing a long distance commute and I found the Peugeot was a bit tiring, trying to keep it straight. I went up market a little bit to a Class GTI in a Volkswagen Golf 16 valve, which is slightly better than the standard GTI. As my commute seemed to be getting longer and longer, I went for a diesel, a dirty diesel. I'm sorry guys, Rover 620 SDI. Now this was pretty slow, but it was economic and it was comfortable, and it looked sort of classy. And I started with my then soon to become wife, so settling down a bit. As a bit of a reaction, I bought myself a Suzuki GSXR 750. I did my big bike test. This thing was awesome. Absolutely massive acceleration. A little bit too fast for me, to be honest, and I kept the bike for quite a long time, but yeah, preferred my cars. Back to cars then. In 1999 this was, I bought myself a future classic. It was actually a rust bucket. It was a Fiat X19. I tried to do a bit of work on it, but it soon became apparent it was more like a colander than anything else. So I removed all the bits, sold bits on, and scrapped the car. I then bought myself, I thought I'll try some Japanese reliability. And in 2000 I bought myself my first Toyota MR2 Mark 1. Now this thing was gorgeous, absolutely lovely. Leather interior, mica, metallic paint. I did up from what was getting a tatty car. It's a lovely future classic that was. I really love that car. As my sort of runabout commute car, I moved the the Rover on for something a bit more reliable, a VW Passat SE Tdi Red Eye. It was extra 10 brake horsepower. Now this was a real solid car. You really felt safe in this, a big lump. While I had the blue MR2, I bought another one. Had two. Oh, the times have changed. It was a Toyota MR2 Mark 1. This was actually a coupe rather than a T-bar, and this was I'd actually test drove this just kicking tires, and it had the blue cam. I don't know whether anybody knows anything about MR2s, but on the cam cover, the 16 valve bit is either red or it's blue, and it designates a change of cam. Now the blue cam was the early cam, was really a lot more racier, and that thing was really a B-road rocket right until I actually went round sideways in it, but it was all part of the fun. That was again a really good car. Moving out of the Mark 1s, I thought, oh, better get myself a turbo. Real fast car. Yeah, so I bought myself this import. It was a MR2 GTS, which is hardtop. Anybody in the know? Turbo. 191 brake horsepower per ton. This thing was awesome and not too bad to drive. It's a Rev3 version, so it was really nice. I did a few little mods to put a new turbo on it. Nothing too fancy, but it was actually with all new bearings and what have you. And I did little Tom's air scoop you can see on the back there. I'd highly recommend anybody who loves fast coupes. This thing is awesome. I actually got a company car back in 2005, and this was this red little fire engine. It's an MG 135 CDTi. It was lovely, it was comfortable, black leather interior, it was red, not particularly quick to be honest, but it was absolutely lovely. Really enjoyed driving that car, especially as a company car. When I actually sold the blue one, I'd actually moved house into a new house. As soon as I got in the new house, I thought I've got to get myself another one, and I bought this red one. The colour is not quite as nice as the blue in my opinion, but again, it did all the right things. Very fast. Little bit of front lift when you're doing real speeds on the motorway, but great cars. I actually put a leather interior in this one, tarted it all up. Just a spec, nothing fancy. Great cars. If anybody gets these MR2 turbos, they're just great out of the box. You don't need to bolt anything on, to be honest. If you rev to the limit on these things, it's enough power for anybody. A lot of the modifications of these cars just take it beyond anything reasonable, and you lose the back end and you end up in the hedge. Probably the down point of my company car was when I was given this thing. I didn't pick it, I was giving it, you know. It's a Peugeot 406 diesel, 2 litre. It was okay, massive car. I remember I went to buy an MR2 bonnet and I actually just put it in the boot. That's how big this car is. Absolutely massive, but to be honest, not very inspiring. So, had enough of company cars. I got off the scheme. I bought myself a BMW 330d M Sport. Now these are the dogs. To be honest, absolutely bomb-proof engine, and they go like stink. A little bit slow off the mark. I didn't chip this or anything. A little bit slow off the mark, but once these things start moving, there's no stopping them. And if you take one look underneath these things, superb German engineering, absolutely superb. Again, another lovely car, great to drive. If you want to get to the airport and back as quick as you can, just jump in one of these things. And actually, I was getting about 42 miles per gallon out of this thing on a run. Super. Manual, of course. Don't get the auto. So, after I realized that 18-inch tires and 42 miles per gallon isn't great when you're buying your own fuel, I bought myself a VW Golf GT 140. Not the 170, 140, apparently more reliable. And this thing was awesome. It's an everyday family car that really got a turn of pace, and it looks the business in my opinion. On this particular one, I wasn't happy with the brakes. I like the red calipers, so I bought a set of GTI brakes, calipers and caliper carriers, and fitted those. Boy, did that thing stop. It'd go and stop. So the kids came along and I bought myself an S-Max. Wow. These things, they don't look the greatest, but they do everything you want for a family car. Massive boot, 7 seats. This one had a panoramic sunroof. And to be honest, I've never found anything I couldn't get in the back of one of these things. Unbelievable family cars. Recommend to anybody. This 1800 TDCi is doing like 60 miles to a gallon. Just crazy on a run. Crazy. Then I ventured into Jaguars. I got rid of all my MR2s. Thought so. I'll buy myself a V8 Coupe. Bit of British engineering rather than Japanese stuff I've been looking at. Jaguar XK8 Coupe. Unfortunately, somebody else liked to look a bit more than I did and went straight in the back of me. Thank you very much. Now the car I bought had a brand new gearbox bought. I had the receipt and everything. I mean, the thing was worth about $2,000 just for the gearbox. So I was very upset when the insurance company scrapped that. I thought I've got to go and buy myself another one. Hence, here's my current XK8. It's a lovely car, actually lower mileage than my previous one, and I've started doing lots and lots of repair work and underbody stuff, which is featured in other videos on my channel. And that's my current love of my life. As a day-to-day runabout, I've got another S-Max. This one's a slightly more modern. It's a facelifted one. It's got DR daytime running lights, a DAB radio. And again, you can get the 3 or 4 dumpy bags of garden waste in the back of this. You can carry as many kids and dogs and prams as you want. The modification to this, I put the titanium S bumpers on it and whatever, just to tighten it up. But to be honest, it's a real family tool. So that's my Carricum Vitae. That was actually 34 years of motoring, 21 cars and 1 bike. So what does the future hold? Well, I still have family, I still got kids, so but I want something with a bit of pace. So I'm thinking a saloon with a hatchback. How about a 420D GT? I actually like the Beamers. I really reminisce about the 330D. Or an Audi A5 Sportsback. Again, lovely cars, beautiful, beautiful cars. German, I think, is the way to go for my next car. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you can reminisce about your Carricum Vitae. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos about cars, and particularly XK8s. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.